Hi, everyone. I hope you're having a great Sunday. Thank you again for stopping by my blog titled Up, Down, and Sideways, The Many Directions of Bipolar Disorder. And what I want to do today is talk a little bit more about what is bipolar disorder. And moving forward, just so you guys know, every week when I do my videos, I do want to share a little bit about my personal experiences with bipolar disorder. And I think that's just going to kind of help you guys kind of see where I've come from, where I'm going, and kind of how I've managed bipolar disorder over the last 11 years. One thing that I kind of thought of that would be kind of different to do today is to redo my first journal entry from the day that I admitted myself into Richard Young Mental Hospital in Omaha, Nebraska. And when I look back at this journal, it is just so interesting to see what I was thinking, what I was feeling, and where I was at the exact time that I was diagnosed. And back then, I didn't even know what bipolar disorder was. And it's taken me a long time to really fully understand it. And I think education is so important, not only for people that are struggling with mental illness, but just for everyone in general, so that we can start talking about it, start learning about it, and ultimately reduce society's stigma on mental illness. So during this, just kind of a prelude to the journal, when I admitted myself into Richard Young, I was extremely, extremely manic, and I was actually psychotic. And I'll go more into my manic episode next week's video, but just on a side note, I was convinced that I was going to be the next Katie Couric. So you'll have to come back in and next week and listen to why I was convinced that I was going to be the next Katie Couric and was going to take over the world. So anyway, so looking back at that, it was very difficult for me to check myself in, but I really wanted to, because I felt that no one really understood me. I didn't know who to talk to. My friends and family were freaking out. And this first entry is right after I checked myself in at the age of 19. So crazy, but 11 years ago. So I'll go ahead and read it, and then I will go and talk to just a little bit more about bipolar disorder and where you can go check out some resources and links to kind of further educate yourself on bipolar disorder. So I'll go ahead and read the journal entry. This was January 12th, 2003 at Richard Young, 9:50 a.m. So here I am at Richard Young Hospital in Omaha, Nebraska. Recently, I was in Chicago visiting my best friend, Amanda. During my visit, so many exciting things happened in my life, especially for my future. Again, I was going to be Katie Couric, so that's where the future part comes in. I have most of it on recording, so I am not going to write it all down. Yep, you heard that right. I recorded everything. I even recorded a 3-hour movie because I was convinced the movie was playing just for me. But anyway, that's a different time. I'm going to write about why I admitted myself into Richard Young and about how many exciting and interesting people I have met so far. Let me start with what happened last Thursday and Friday. I told my mom that I definitely needed to see a counselor right away when I got back to Omaha, even if I could see one right when I got home on that Friday. Just so you know, my mom and her best friend Angel picked me up from the airport and drove me directly to Richard Young because they knew something was very wrong. So my mom took me to Richard Young Mental Hospital. I decided that it would be best if I checked myself in. I was just too darn happy. I was in a state of euphoria, in parentheses, my new favorite word. They checked me into the SCU. I really didn't belong in this unit. I belonged in the other unit where there were more people like me. But in the SCU, which was the special care unit, I met 3 very interesting people. And just so you know, everyone that I met during this time I felt was a connection to my future. So this is where I talk about some people that I met in the unit. Robert, who has paranoid schizophrenia, but he is a great person. He is so funny. I gave him some inspirational quotes to keep him going. Daryl is also another funny character. He is so nice and considerate. Also, the nurses on the floor are very great. They have all treated me so nice. On Saturday, I talked with my doctor. He told me that I was a manic. So even then, I said a manic. I didn't even know what manic was at that time. Basically, I could be bipolar. And then a few days later, I went back and made a little note and put I am bipolar in the journal. But I caught it before it got out of hand, which I am very thankful for. I am so proud of myself. It felt really good doing something that was solely for myself. Dr. E put me on some medication to bring me off my I'm high from life stage. It was definitely needed. I was crazy. Everything was just dandy, but I knew that if I didn't come down to earth, I would eventually crash someday and maybe go into a major depression. I thank God every day that He gave me the wisdom to know when things get out of hand, you need to get help. So as you can see, at that time, I was very thankful that I checked myself in. And that's something that I would encourage all of you to take from this, is that it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to ask for support. And people want to help you. And my friends and family were so awesome during this time. It even makes me emotional right now just to think, without them, I wouldn't be here today. So, God, I don't know why I'm getting upset here. Wow. But anyway, so as you can see, I'm very thankful for my friends and family, to get here. So anyway, that's caught me off guard that I'm getting emotional here. But I guess that's what happens when you start talking about this kind of stuff, because it is emotional and it really encourages you to be grateful for what you have. So what I would encourage you guys to do is, listening to my experiences is always great, but it is good to arm yourself with knowledge. And one quick thing that I found on the National Institute of Mental Health is what is bipolar disorder. And I'll read it very quickly, and I'll leave the link for you here below. But it's also known as manic depressive illness. But this was used a long time ago, and now most people refer to it as bipolar disorder. It's a brain disorder that causes unusual shifts in mood, energy, activity levels, and the ability to carry out day-to-day tasks. Symptoms of bipolar disorder are severe. They're different from the normal ups and downs that everyone goes through from time to time. Bipolar disorder symptoms can result in damaged relationships, poor job or school performance, and even suicide. But bipolar disorder can be treated, and people with this illness can lead full and productive lives. And that is what I want you guys to take from what I just read you. You can lead full and productive lives. And I'm here to show you that it's possible, because 11 years later, after so many crazy ups and downs and different things that, were really hard to deal with, I am, a testament that you can do it. You can be successful. You can have a job. You can have family. You can have friends, and you can have it all. And you can still, and if you're bipolar, you can still do all of that stuff. So anyway, thanks again. This video is a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, so I will wrap it up. I hope that you can check out the link below from the National Institute of Mental Health. One thing that I'll leave you with is kind of a goal that I set for myself, and I want to hear about your guys' goals that you set for yourself as well on how to manage bipolar disorder. And in talking to my counselor, I just started a new job. I tend to go full force into things, and what I've decided to do is set up boundaries for myself so that I can maintain a good work-life balance. And I did a very good job with that last week. I went to bed at a certain time and woke up at a certain time and went to the gym and ate healthy. And my goal is to continue that for this week. So if you guys have any goals or suggestions or ways that you maintain a good work-life balance, please feel free to leave a comment below. Otherwise, I will see you next week when I talk about the differences between mania and depression, and I will fill you in a little bit more on what led up to me thinking I was going to be the next Katie Couric. So again, guys, thank you so much for stopping by my blog. Have an awesome week, and I will talk to you next Sunday. Take care.